Hey guys, today I have something new for you, and it is chunk loaders in Minecraft 1.13. Now this is a function that I created that is going to add a new recipe into your game, just like that, and it will give you a chunk loader. Now if I use a say command, you can see that only the spawn chunks are loaded right now because I'm here. If I go to the Z1000, you see that it's going to be loaded, and the 2000 as well, just like that, but only when I hear that the chunks will be loaded, and when I go back to the spawn chunks, only them will be loaded. Now if I want to keep these coordinates still loaded, this chunk right here, I can use the chunk loader, just have to place it on the ground, and you can see that when I go back to the spawn chunks, the Z1000 will still be loaded. I can even log out and log back into the game, and the chunks will be still loaded, as you can see. Now if I break the chunk loader right here and go back to the spawn chunks, you can see that the Z1000 will be unloaded because I can just break the chunk loader just like that. Now what's really cool about this system is that it's not only one chunk loader. You can also use with minecarts. Now if I try to send this minecart into this track right here that is 200 blocks long, I won't be able to because right now my render distance is only 4 chunks, and it can even show that the end is not loaded if I try to set a block right here. You can see that the position is not loaded. But if I want to convert this minecart right here into a chunk loader, I just have to throw the chunk loader into it, and you can see that's going to be special. It has a little O and now I can send it into its way, and you can see that right now it's going to say the Z position only just to showcase that it's working. And right now I can go back to the spawn chunks if I want to, and I can even log out of the game and log back in, that the minecart still will keep going. And as you can see, it keeps going. Now it's going to reach the end. Let me just show that. There we go. And now I'm going to show that it also works with hopper minecarts and normal minecarts. You just have to throw the chunk loaders into them just like that. Now with the hopper minecarts you can load farms, especially with flying machines, and with the normal minecarts you can send entities into unloaded chunks just like that. And as you can see, the minecarts now arriving. And there we go. Let me just say that this is only going to work on the main world. It's not going to work in the Nether or the ends. It only works on the overworld. But apart from that, it works great. Oh wow. Now the way the system works, if you are interested, is very simple. It just uses arrows. If I use a data command right here, you can see that the arrow will have the position. It has the tag, the position tag, but it also has the tile tags. So the Z tile, Y tile, and the X tile. Now the tile tags will keep track of the block where the arrow is in. So what I can do right now is, let me just refresh the arrow. I can teleport the arrow. So I teleported the arrow 2 blocks into the Z position, but if I get the data of the arrow again, you can see that the position changed from 8 to 6, but the Z tile didn't change, so it kept at 8. So I can show you that the arrow is still looking at this block right here if I break this block, because the arrow is floating into the air, but only when I break this block right here that the arrow is going to fall. Now, because the arrow has to look into this block right here, if this block is at unloaded chunks, it will have to load these chunks to know if the block is there or not. And as you can see, with this system right here, we are using this method to load the chunks that we want. But well, now for the minecart it's a little bit more complicated, because if we want to load the minecart, we can just have it on a lazy chunk, because on lazy chunks, which is only one loaded chunk, it can't process entities, so the minecart won't be able to move. What we have to do is to turn this into an entity processing chunk, and the way we do that by loading a 5x5 area of lazy chunks. Now it's a little bit much, but there's a little bit of a problem, because if we want to move the minecart to the next chunk, it will go to lazy chunks again and won't be able to continue moving. So what we actually have to do is to load a 7x7 area, because it's going to load a 3x3 area of entity processing chunks. But with that, we can now move the minecart into any chunk that we want, and when it goes to the next one, we can just shift the loaded chunks so it go around the minecart. But well, that's basically it for the minecart. The last thing that I want to show you is that if you want to download this function, you can do so in the description. I'm going to send a link right there, and the function is going to set up everything by itself. Now, one thing that you have to keep in mind is that it's going to create this little structure right here, which is this little block, and this little block is going to keep track of where the arrows are. So this block right here has to be in the spawn chunks, because the arrow will be always loaded. And as you can see, every time I place a new chunk loader, the arrows will be placed right here. Now the system is going to create this by itself when it creates it. But if you want to, you can also move it. The way you move it is by just using the function command, just like that. And you can see that it's going to create the it's going to create the little structure and move the other one. I can even show you that it's going to move the arrows, just like that. It's going to move the arrows back here, so you don't have to worry about the previous chunk loaders breaking. But oh well, I think that's basically it. As I said, I'm going to put a download of the function in the description. But apart from that, thanks for watching. See you next time.